Oh,
Yesterday.
oh, that was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, amazing. Got confused.
I think yesterday or
Yeah, that
day
Yeah,
was
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Sunday.
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah,
Correct.
yesterday.
Bhadrapuram.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think put this up. Okay, I thought I will share stuff on
What
Prabhupada
happened?
sannyas.
What happened, son?
No, it was a face.
I don't understand what's the cause of your happiness.
Okay, these guys are fighting. Mute them. Okay, so is that what you guys fight on the YouTube Zoom thing every Monday? Or how does it work? I think you have a 1 hour session where each family can fight in the online. Good, good public show. Okay, so so what I was thinking is, generally Prabhupada arriving in US, I think that's something we have heard. We have heard a lot. Sannyas thing is pretty interesting. Even we don't. I'm not heard a lot about Prabhupada sannyas. So that will cut some couple of videos where I can share, and that particular episode of those. I think it's like nearly 7-8 paragraphs in Prabhupada Lilamrita where Prabhupada sannyas has been explained. We'll read that, and yeah, so at least we'll get a feel of how was the time when Prabhupada took sannyas. And you can share if you want to anything after that. Let's see. Okay, let me ask you this, and I obviously keep forgetting all these dates and times. Do you know which year Prabhupada got sannyas? Don't worry. It takes a minute for Googling. 1950. Okay. That's it's not technical sannyas. When did he actually take sannyas? Six.
She's doing a nice guesswork.
Google and type Prabhupada sannyas date, na?
It was towards the end. I mean, must be 1958 or 59. Guess something like that.
It's
Yeah, 59.
1959. Okay, which date? I'm sure Google gives the date also. Because that's
Does it give the Hindi
same Google I'm
tithi?
referring. What?
Does it give the tithi or the English date or the English
It
date?
gives the English date. It says English date. So September 17th, 1959. Okay. September 17th, 1959. And this came 7th. Yeah, so this is Tithi anyway. So September 17th, 1959, Prabhupada took sannyas. Okay, and 1950, which Kusuma Mataji mentioned, that's when he retired from family life. That's Vanaprastha. Okay, Prabhupada left the family life 1950. So which means what? How many years he was in renounced order? Renounced order means out of family before sannyas.
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years.
9 years. No. So Prabhupada left the family in 1950. After 9 years, he ended up taking sannyas. And in that 9 years only, you would have heard all those different stories of him starting League of Devotees, going to Delhi, selling books, and all that. Everything, many various things happened that period. And okay, another question. Where did he get sannyas? Which place?
Vrindavan.
Vrindavan. Near.
Near Vrindavan is Mathura.
Yes.
Or
Mathura
Govardhan,
only.
maybe. Yeah.
Mathura. It's the Keshavaji Mutt. Okay, Keshavaji Mutt in Mathura. He got initiated there. Okay, who is his sannyas guru?
Oh, that's Pravagya Maharaj, that one. What's his name?
Uh,
Pravagya Keshav Maharaj, something.
Keshav Maharaj.
Yeah.
Yes. It's and how is he related to Prabhupada? Is he related to Prabhupada in any way, spiritually
His god
speaking?
brother.
Yes, his god brother. So he's one of his god brothers of Prabhupada. Okay, cool. So good refresher, and you get to hear, and I never, maybe I would have heard this 100 times, but I still don't remember. So when you get to read this, you understand. Yeah, Srimad Bhakti Pragnana Keshav Swami, Keshav Maharaj. Okay, so let me, you know what, I'll share this. How does this can be done? We could make it a bit, if I keep reading, you are already sleeping, and this could even make you more sleep. So let's put it like this, and I'll ping you this. Let me ping you this. I'll ping you the actual link. Okay. Then I ping this. Okay. So whoever is near thingy laptop, whatever, open that. And if you come pretty much to the last, would say not last, maybe the actual Keshav Maharaj, sorry, what was that? Sannyas initiation is around. Okay. You know what? You just search for this. Okay, you search for this. It will search for this particular words on that page. It will come to that exact portion, section where Prabhupada took sannyas will come. Yeah. So let's read, one paragraph at a time. Whoever is around, just we read. It's a really good. It's a really good episode. That period of how Prabhupada got into that thought process and how he got initiated. It's a pretty nice thing to read. So we can recall some of the pastimes happened then, and then I'll read some excerpts of Prabhupada himself explaining how this thing happened. Okay, so let me read first paragraph, and then each of you volunteer yourself. Okay, let's start. You know what? Actually, I'll share the screen. It's even because some of you may not be able to open the page. I will make your life as easy as possible. No. Hold on. What's this? Looks weird. Can you see the page or what?
Yeah, now we can
Yes,
see one
Prabhu,
night.
we can.
Avoid a striking.
Is it okay now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So let's read. I'll read one para and each, people can volunteer. First one. One night, Abe had a striking dream. The same dream he had several times before during his days as a householder. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati appeared just as Abe had known him. The tall, scholarly sannyasi coming directly from the spiritual world from Krishna's personal entourage. He called to Abe and indicated that he should follow. Repeatedly he called and motioned. He was asking Abe to take sannyas. Come, he urged, become a sannyasi. Okay. Next one. Someone raised hands. Okay, hold on. Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Abhay awoke in a state of wonder
he thought of this instruction as another feature of the original instruction Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had given him at their first meeting in Calcutta, the same instruction that his spiritual master had later solidified in a letter, become an English preacher, and spread Krishna consciousness throughout the Western world. Sannyasa was for that end. Otherwise, why would his spiritual master have asked him to accept it? Abhay reasoned that his spiritual master was saying, now take sannyasa and you will actually be able to accomplish this mission. Formally, the time was not right.
Nice, thanks. Right. Okay, next, Ujjwala Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Abhay deliberately, cautiously, by accepting sannyasa, a Vaishnava dedicates his body, mind, and words totally to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, renouncing all other engagements. He was doing that. Sorry, my screen. Oh, Krishna. Sorry. One second, Prabhu. I'm not able to see.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. He was doing that already. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had offered sannyasa to his leading disciple so that they could continue his mission. They hadn't done it. Preaching in the West had proved perilous even for the Gaudiya Math's most recognized sannyasis. How could he, mere outsider, presume he could succeed where the others had failed? He was hesitant. The helpless, incapable feeling he had expressed in his Viraha Ashtaka was there, but now his spiritual master was becoming him. Over all other
Hare Krishna. Is she there or what? Yes, her
Like
internet
we
was.
lost her.
Okay, I'll finish that. Okay, where is it? Now, but now his spiritual master was beckoning him over all other considerations, over all other considerations, even other natural humility. Now, although he was elderly and alone, the desire to preach just as his spiritual master had preached mind within him, a fierce, though sometimes quietly expressed determination. It's interesting, and I see that, like, again, this is a very spiritual experience there, but you can see even Prabhupada himself had low self-confidence to some extent. And obviously, in a spiritual world, in a relationship, we call it that as a humility there. But Prabhupada himself, he wasn't sure what he was doing. He felt himself helpless and incapable, right? But here's the thing, okay? This is the difference between his feeling of helpless and incapable and our feeling of helpless and incapable. There's a bit of a difference there. A devotee of any caliber, generally, they should always feel helpless and incapable, but they shouldn't feel low. Low means, that I'm not good for anything. And they recognize that incapability around their own ego. Here you can see Prabhupada acknowledges the same thing, that I am helpless and I'm incapable, but he had a strong confidence on the Guru Parampara and Krishna, so he was anyway doing it, even if he was not confident. So that's a difference there. So it's interesting, like how we sometimes we think, like, oh, Prabhupada, he can do it, or maybe many Prabhupada's disciples, oh, they can do it. What's the big deal? Because they're all big devotees. But the matter of the fact is, just like Prabhupada and many of his disciples felt the same, they went through the same experience and emotion, like all of us at times go through. When we get a chance to do anything which is challenging, right? It could be preaching, it could be kirtan, books, or whatever. I always go through that. All of us go through that. But the only difference is we just sit in that feeling and never take a step forward, because we depend purely on our own egoistic mind, our own capabilities, and we totally negate. There's another personality called Krishna Guru who can empower us. In other words, we think we are the doers. We don't think they are the doers. So hence the reason we are always stuck in this feeling and we never get out of it. Or we wait until we get confident to do something. That's another thing also. Sometimes you talk to some devotees, hey, why can't you do this? I'll be like, Prabhu, I don't feel confident. Once I feel confident, I'll do it. It's it's like saying, why can't you swim, or why can't you start riding a bicycle? It's like saying no, I'll start riding the bicycle once I'm confident that I can ride a bicycle. Or maybe I'll start driving a car once I'm confident I'll drive a car. Here is a simple question. When do we feel confident that we can drive a car? At what stage we will feel like, yes, I'm confident I can drive a car?
When we actually start driving the car.
Yes, yeah. The more we drive, the more we get confident. But we always never take that first step, and we are sitting and waiting that they will get confident. So, because we are very much stuck in our own head, thinking like things will manifest automatically, and we think on our own capabilities. But here is the thing, okay? Pure devotees also go through this, but they end up doing it anyway because of this. The desire to preach, just as his spiritual master had preached, reminded within him. A fierce thought, sometimes quietly expressed determination. So it's like it's something which they do it anyway because they depend on Krishna. So it's very interesting for us. I mean, like, it's easy to talk now. But anyway, this is something for us to contemplate. Whenever we get questioned, we just need to challenge our mind to say that, hold on, how long am I going to be constantly contemplating this fear, that I can't do this, I can't do that. Huh? Yeah, can you hear me anyway? So how long I'm going to contemplate on all these fears, rather when am I going to take a bold step, which is, what, this is for Krishna, this is for the spiritual master Guru, he has given me this instruction, so let me do it anyway. So that confidence, when that confidence comes by doing, so we just need to remind ourselves. It's a good thing to remind. Here is the next thing. Where are we here? I believe Priya Mataji handed, Ramya Mataji. Let's see if you can. Good.
The Vedic standard. Okay. Prabhu, can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, go on.
The Vedic standard and the example set by the previous acharyas was that if one wanted to lead a preaching movement, sannyasa was required. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta has taken sannyasa to facilitate his missionary work. Lord Chaitanya has taken sannyasa to further the Sankirtana movement. Of course, Lord Chaitanya was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but when his young student had been disrespectful towards him, treating him as an ordinary man, he had taken sannyasa because a sannyasa is automatically respected. Lord Chaitanya's acceptance of sannyasa was a calculated tactic. As soon as he began traveling throughout India as a sannyasi, he immediately attracted thousands of followers to the Sankirtana movement.
Yeah, Haribo. Okay, good. Next is Varsana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Pranam. Knowing that many cheaters would accept the saffron dress and abuse the respect given to sannyasis, Lord Chaitanya had advised against accepting sannyas in the age of Kali. He knew that cheaters in in the guise of sadhu would act immorally, accumulate funds for their own sense gratification, and make many followers simply to enhance their own prestige. Posing as Swami, they would cheat the public. Because the people in Kali Yuga are unable to follow the rules and regulations of sannyas, Lord Chaitanya had recommended that they simply chant Hare Krishna. However, if a person could actually follow the rules, and especially if he had to spread the Sankirtan movement, sannyas was necessary.
Hare, Hare. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, this is the one. Okay. Thank you. We'll ask Dameshwar Prabhu. We'll come back if need be. Yeah. Go on.
Abhay first had to approach one of his god brothers for permission. He decided to turn to Bhaktivilas Tirtha Maharaja, formerly Kunjavihari, the leader of Chaitanya Mutt in Calcutta. Abhay still thought of the Chaitanya Mutt as the headquarters of his spiritual master's mission. During the heated legal disputes, the Chaitanya Mutt had been the most prized acquisition, and since 1948, it had been under the legal ownership of Bhaktivilas Tirtha Maharaja. Now, although each sannyasi had his own place or places, the Chaitanya Mutt and Bhaktivilas Tirtha Maharaja legally represented the Gaudiya Mutt entity. Abhay felt that if he were to take sannyasa and go preach in America, he should give the Chaitanya Mutt the first opportunity to support his work. In April 1959, Abhay wrote to Tirtha Maharaja inquiring about sannyasa and the Chaitanya Mutt's printing some of his manuscripts. And since no one was going abroad, he volunteered to do so on behalf of the Chaitanya Mutt.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Who's the other one? Mona Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare.
Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj replied that Abhay should first join the Chaitanya Mutt. He mentioned the strife that still lingered. Those who are acting against Chaitanya Mutt, they are motivated by their individual ambitions. Anyone who was against the Chaitanya Mutt, he said, was acting illogically and against the instruction of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So, according to Tirtha Maharaj, the thing for Abhay to do, the thing he had neglected to do for so many years, was to join the Chaitanya Mutt and act under his directions. Tirtha Maharaj mentioned several members of the Chaitanya Mutt who had recently accepted the sannyas order, and he said that Abhay could also become one in time. He invited Abhay to come reside at the Chaitanya Mutt, the house that we have. There are rooms that are airy and well lit. Where we will treat you exclusively. The, there won't be any difficulty. We will take care that no inconvenience are caused. But as for printing books,
You can read that one, that verse.
okay,
This is the reply. Yeah.
we are eagerly awaiting to print the books like a
Satsandarbha.
Sandarbha Vedanta based on the devotional service and many other rare books by the Goswamis. First, we will print them. Books written by you will be checked by the editorial staff. And if the funds can be raised, then they can be printed according to priority. The books will printed only if they are favorable for the service of the Chaitanya Mutt. Therefore, if the fund is raised, then there is a plan to go abroad as well.
Read this one also. Right?
Abhay was not encouraged. The main difficulty he felt was the Chaitanya Mutt's shortage of funds.
Good. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, who is there? Okay, yes, Yogesh.
Srila Prabhupada, I was working with my broken typewriter. I went to our Tirth Maharaj. You give me a room and print my books. Give me some money. I will join you. I had thought, this is Guru Maharaj's institution. He did not say no, but the printing of books was a difficult task for him. He had no money. He was hardly collecting for maintaining. Printing of books is a big job and there is no guarantee of sale. Shall I read one more?
Yeah.
Without printing books and going to the West, sannyas did not have meaning for Abhay. And who knew when Tirth Maharaj would sanction his taking sannyas? There was no point in going to Calcutta just to reside in an airy, well-lit room that he had already in Vrindavan. Abhay wrote back to Tirth Maharaj mentioning his direct order from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati to preach to the English-speaking people. He wanted to go to the West right away, and he had thought the Chaitanya Mutt would welcome his offer. Both Abhay and Tirth Maharaj had their responsibilities, but perhaps they could work together to carry out the desire of their spiritual master. Abhay asked Tirth Maharaj to reconsider. On May 7th, 1959, Bhakti Vilas Tirth Maharaj wrote back. Shall I read?
Yeah.
My suggestion is don't make any hasty decisions. For the time being, you stay with us and engage yourself in the service of the society and then accept Tridanda, sannyas. The purpose of accepting Tridanda is to serve the society. If that is your desire, then Sri Chaitanya Mutt will decide about your going to America to preach and make all the arrangements. It can never be the principle of the society to let one act according to his individual attempt or desire. The society will decide after consulting with the heads what is to be done by whom. That is what I want to say. First of all, it is necessary to identify oneself with the society. In order to preach in America or in other foreign countries, it is important to have a dignified organization in the background, and secondly, it is necessary to establish oneself in India before going to preach in the foreign countries. Now it is that there are no conferences or meeting in the West as before. Communication is done through the media of television.
We just read this one, closes that.
Abhay could understand the needs and priorities of the Chaitanya Mutt, but he could not allow them to overrule what he considered the highest mandate. Preaching as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had ordered, Abhay had offered his services to the leaders of the Chaitanya Mutt, thinking they might also see things his way. He thought that with the world's crying need for Krishna consciousness staring them in the face, they might see that this Abhay Babu was convinced and enthusiastic and so should be sent right away with whatever he required. But they had other priorities.
Interesting. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't a sweet journey. A couple of things there.
Yeah.
You know? One is like generally we get to hear that, Prabhupada, he went and started his own movement, why he wasn't part of his own guru's movement. I've heard this many times. Sometimes devotees or people have asked why he has to start his own thing. But you can see here, this is just one segment of it. There are multiple segments. The time when he traveled to US, he had even furthermore rejective conversations. But this one you can see, he even way before this whole project started, he was very much keen to go and take shelter of Chaitanya Mutt, his senior god brothers, sannyas god brothers, and work together. And you can see what kind of response they had, and he was not welcomed. And secondly, you can see that he was given all the facilities as per the letter, right? You come, you got a good room and everything, whatever you need, so you can be taken care nicely. But you can see Prabhupada was he was not enticed by that. Rather, for him, it was like, will it this is something which we need to learn is being clear on what is he doing. Like Prabhupada was clear what was his purpose on taking sannyas and what he has to accomplish through that. It wasn't like some kind of a thing like, okay, I need to take sannyas and then I can go back to Godhead, or I can take sannyas because, vanaprastha, after sannyas ashram, what else, he wasn't like half-assedly just doing stuff because he has to do. It wasn't like he has to do that. Rather, Prabhupada was very much clear, why he has to take sannyas and what are his steps straight after that. And when he saw his own God brothers or organization which they represent was not supporting, he was very much clear that, okay, that's not the route I'm taking. I need to explore other options. So it's something for us to learn, that is that our practices should be a bit more driven with some intelligence, motive, goals, passion. It shouldn't be like, because this Prabhu told me to do books, I'm doing it. You go there, someone says, no, Prabhu, we are not doing, okay, I will go home, Hare Krishna. Or maybe you're going to go and do a preaching program and you're like, oh, no one is there. Okay, I tried 3 times, I'll go home. It's not working. Or maybe you started a Bhakti Vriksha, or maybe you started like Radhayatra service coming. Oh, I want 10 volunteers. I tried, no one responding. Who cares? Drop it. Right? The this is how we generally work. At least majority, not everyone. Majority of us, or we just try to go to take maybe a couple of steps forward. We don't see any response coming. We are like, okay, Hare Krishna, move back. That's it. What's the big deal? It's not my problem anyway. It's not my headache. But that's fine. It's not a problem. Okay, that's one way of doing service. It's not a wrong thing. Something better than nothing, right? Some people don't even do service. Okay, so that's fine. But I'm just talking what is the gold standard. The gold standard of doing service. Because we all want this special blessings and mercy by which we can really go above and beyond our conditioned consciousness and become really a good devotee of Krishna and Prabhupada. And you can see the gold standard. The gold standard is they don't back up, they don't back off. At the same time, they don't push and what do you call it? He could have easily picked a fight with Bhakti Vriksha Maharaj, right? Just imagine, like it's common. It's a basic common conversation. Yo, man, why are you not giving it? You are my guru. We both the same guru. Why are you not giving? You're monopolizing. You're playing. You're doing politics, right? We can go in that route too. Have a dirty conversation with our own God brothers and try to punch and fight and somehow get things done. Did Prabhupada do that? What a gentleman he was. I mean, like he was such a gentleman. He was in a very, what state is that? He was in a state where he was very weak financially, socially. He had nothing. He was a beggar, basically, and he could have gone and did all types of fight to get something done because he had nothing to even imagine. Okay, he has left his business, family, everything at the mission and the dream of he will get the support of his God brothers and Chaitanya Math to go and establish the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, fulfill the order of his guru. Okay, let's and he left everything. He left everything, went and stood in front of the Chaitanya Math and the senior God brothers. Hey, here I am. Let's join hands and accomplish the mission. They're like, sorry, no, we can't do this. Imagine for a person who has given up his life and standing there and is rejected for the same people whom he has given up his life. Imagine what kind of emotion, craziness should go in his head. The natural human tendency is you will go and punch this guy's face and start fighting. Like you will do whatever it takes to win the argument because I've given up my whole family, money, job, everything just for you, and you're just telling me no? What's this all about? Right? All these years and months you've been talking gloriously about me, and all of a sudden you're just dropping me because he was given a lot of opportunities. If you read the previous episodes of this chapter, he was given opportunities to write in the like the daily patrika, the magazines. He was given a privileged position to write, edit. He was given various respectable services. Then now they are just backing off, saying, no, I think we can't publish your books. No, we don't have a place for you to go and preach in the West. So you just is something really amazing to learn. So Prabhupada was like, he was so humble. He was standing there. He didn't even fight back. Rather, he thought, you know what, this is not going to work. I need to explore other options. And he just depended on the Lord, and he just went humbly, rather than taking rather than taking a route which a devotee will never do. So he was a pure Vaishnava. He handled the whole thing in a Vaishnava way. So it's very important for us to learn. We shouldn't. This is for us to remind ourselves, like, what's the gold standard of practice, and what is rather than we generally, I say this, why? Because most of our devotees, we end up talking, the natural direction they say is, why are you doing, if they do something which is not right, like, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing this, right? And they'll be like, no, that devotee did, that devotee did, and that devotee did. And the fingers, whoever they pointed to, they were either more naughtier than him, or maybe someone equal to him. They just compared with those most naughtiest people. And they're like, I'm following those people now. Okay. But the question is simple. You want to be naughty like him, or you want to follow the gold standard and go back to Godhead, So it's for us to decide who is our role models. So this is important. Prabhupada himself has led from the front on that. Okay, so Kusum Mataji. Here, this is the one.
Okay. Abhay next turned to Keshav Maharaj in Mathura, and Keshav Maharaj told Abhay to take sannyas immediately. After corresponding with Tirtha Maharaj, Abhay felt some uncertainty about accepting sannyas, and now he was being encouraged so strongly, he resisted. But Keshav Maharaj was insistent.
Yes. Go on.
Prabhupada, I was sitting alone in Vrindavan writing. My godbrother insisted to me, Bhakti Vedanta Prabhu, you must do it. Without accepting the renounced order of life, nobody can become a preacher. So he insisted. Practically, my spiritual master insisted. He wanted me to become a preacher. So he forced me through this godbrother. You accept. So unwillingly, I accepted.
Yes. Interesting. And he just literally went for the next option, and there he was. Ready? Keshav Maharaj was ready to give. In fact, he was waiting, like, come on, Abhay Babu, it's time for you. Step up. Right? It was the much needed inspiration and motivation. So this is what happens. And one door closes, next opens. Typical example here, right? Krishna didn't give it easy for him. He tested Prabhupada's, interest towards his next step. And then you saw in the next matter of next option, he met someone who was waiting to give sannyas. So let's see. Arpita Mataj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Keshavji Gauriya Math was located in the midst of one Mathura's downtown bazaars. In main entrance, an arched doorway led into a country ward, open to the sky through a metal gating above. The architecture was similar to that of the Vamsi Gopalji temple. The atmosphere was secular, as in a monastery. Abhay was a familiar, welcomed figure here. He had lived here, written and studied in the library here, edited the Gaudiya Patrika, and donated the deity of the Lord Chaitanya, who stood on the altar beside the deities of Radha and Krishna, Sri Sri Radha, Vinod Viharji. But his visit during September of 1959 was not an ordinary one. He entered the matha dressed in the white Abhay Babu, but he would soon be leaving dressed in saffron, Swami.
Hare Krishna. Amazing, huh? Imagine.
Yes, sir.
These are all very for us it looks like some story conversation, but it's all like a very emotional for the person who would have been there. It would have been a very emotional period. Imagine Prabhupada then, once he entered, he has gone to the same place earlier as Abe Babu, a normal white wearing dress. He in fact donated the deity, Mahaprabhu's deity there, and now he is going in for another mission. Swami, sannyasi. Interesting. Okay, read the next one.
Abhay had been living as a renunciant for 9 years. There was no need for him to observe a ceremony or to proclaim himself a sadhu by changing it to saffron dress. But it was the parampara system that a man take Tridandi sannyasa at the end of his life. He was aware of the cheating. He was aware of the cheating sannyasis. Even in Vrindavana, we had seen so-called sadhus who did not preach but simply spent their days hunting for chapatis. Some swamis of Vrindavana even indulged illicitly in what they had supposedly come here to reject sex life. Such persons were making a mockery of sannyasa, but there were the caste Goswamis also, who lived like ordinary householders, running temples as a business to support their families and accepting honor and donations from the public on the false basis of birth. Abhay knew of these abuses of sannyasa, but he also knew the real purpose of sannyasa. Sannyasa was for preaching.
See, this is this is the purity of this is the purity. See, now you can basically they're comparing. Prabhupada is not going to take a sannyas like any other sannyas which generally people around that community has seen. The ones which has been mentioned here, like some are for the food or any illicit relationship or even for making money or maintaining family. So this is another one which we'll need to remind ourselves on, like some of the times, when we are also engaging in preaching and doing service, we need to make sure that sometimes there are many times we get donations from various places. They give it for service of Krishna, service for deities, could be for preaching, right? We need to be very careful. I think it was my Guru Maharaj, he said, I just literally forgot, slipped my head. Uh, he got yeah, I slipped my head. It was a very interesting story past time where he said. Anyway, something along these lines. Anyway, it was a story. I forgot that. But the end point was the donations which we receive, the donations which we receive for preaching or any service. Generally we get to interact and get a lot of. We need to make sure it's our duty to make sure that those donations are used in the right purpose, the right place, which is service of the Lord, not used for any personal, personal expenditure of any type. And it was my Guru Maharaj was saying in one class somewhere, he was saying that's using any Lakshmi which was given for Krishna is for one's own personal benefit is the most sinful. It's a very sinful grave offense which one will incur. So we need to be very conscious of that. And you can see Prabhupada is on that caliber of a sannyasi. That's why in ISKCON you can see, ISKCON sannyasis or even brahmacharis are allowed to have their own bank accounts. So it's purely used for the service of the Lord. So we need to be careful as Grahasthas also. Whenever we end up collecting Lakshmi, we are very careful where it goes. Okay, Tirthavilas Prabhu, here's the sannyas day.
On the morning of the September 17, 1959, in the 50 by 25 foot, the deity room on the second floor of the Keshavji Mutt, a group of devotees sat before the deities of Radha Krishna, the Lord Chaitanya. The deities were colorfully dressed in royal clothing and silver crowns. Radharani's right hand faced palm forward in the benediction for the worshipper. At her side, her left hand held a flower for Krishna. Krishna stood like a dancer, placing his right leg in a casual tiptoe pose before his left, playing his long silver flute, which he held gracefully to his red lips. His long black hair reached down past his shoulders, and the garlands of the marigold around his neck reached down to his knee. On his right stood the deity of Lord Chaitanya, his right arm raised, left arm at his side, his body straight, feet together. He was a soft golden color, and he had large eyes, a well formed red mouth, and a straight black hair down to his shoulders. One level below the deities were pictures of spiritual master in a disciplic succession. Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhakti Vidya Thakur, Gaur Keshav Das Babaji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Pragnana
Yeah.
Keshav Maharaj.
I can read this
Can you
maybe.
continue?
Yeah.
Abhay sat on the mat of Kusha grass beside 90-year-old Sanatana, also to receive sannyasa that day. Sitting opposite the two candidates, Narayana Maharaj, Keshav Maharaj disciple, prepared to conduct the ceremony of mantras and offer the grains and the ghee into the fire. Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji, Abhay's god brother, knows for the sweet singing, playing mridanga and sang Vaishnava bhajan. Sitting on raised asana, His Holiness Keshav Maharaj presided. Since there had been no notices or invitation, only Matha's few residents attended. Can I continue, Prabhu?
Yes.
Narayana Maharaja chanted the required mantras and then sat back silently while Keshav Maharaj lectured. Then, to everyone's surprise, Keshav Maharaj asked Abhay to speak. Abhay had not expected this. As he looked around at the gathering of devotees, he understood that the common language was Hindi. Only Keshav Maharaj and few others spoke English. Yet, he knew he must speak in English. After Abhay's speech, each initiate received his sannyasa danda, the traditional head high staff made of 4 bamboo rods bound together and completely enwrapped in a saffron cloth. They were given in their sannyasa garments. One piece of saffron cloth for dhoti, one for top piece, and 2 strips for underwear. They also received tulsi neck beads and sannyasa mantra. Keshav Maharaj said that Abhay would now be known as a Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaja and that Sanatana would be Muni Maharaja. After the ceremony, the two new sannyasis posed for a photo, standing one on either sides of the sannyasa guru who sat in the chair.
Okay.
Keshav Maharaj.
See, that's this photo. Okay. That's this photo you can see here. Oops. Can see this? This photo?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Yes, the Muni Maharaj, Prabhupada, Keshav Maharaj. Okay. We'll ask now, who else is there? Anyone there? All right. Yeah. Okay, Rasavali Mataji. Go on. Where is the Satina child? Okay, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Keshav Maharaj didn't impose any strictures on Abhay. He simply encouraged him to go on preaching. Yet Abhay knew that to become A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami did not mean merely that he was giving up family, home, comforts, and business. That he had done 5 years ago. Changing from white cloth to saffron cloth, from Abhay Babu to Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj had a special significance. It was the mandate he had required, the irrevocable commitment. Now it was only a matter of time before Bhaktivedanta Swami would travel to the West as Bhaktivedanta Saraswati had ordered. This was Bhaktivedanta Swami's realization of his new sannyas status.
Very nice.
Should I continue?
This is kind of coming to end. We'll ask Ripa Mataji finally. The last one. Ripa Mataji there?
Yes, she is there.
Where is she? Okay,
Yes,
her
please.
hand was there. No. Okay. There, Ripa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Am I audible,
Yes.
Prabhu?
Read this. Yeah.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Mm.
So the Gadya Petrika's account of the Sannyasa initiation included a biographical sketch of Sri Srimad Bhagavad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja, listing the major events of his life. The article concluded, seeing his enthusiasm and ability to write articles in Hindi, English and Bengali, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj gave him the instruction to take Tridandi Sannyasa.
Yeah.
For nearly 1 year, he had been ready to accept sannyasa. In the month of Bhadra, on the day on which Vishava,
Vishwarup.
Vishwarupa accepted sannyasa, Bhaktivedanta Swami at the Sri Keshava Gauriya Math accepted sannyasa from the founder of the Vedanta Smriti. Bhakti Prajana Keshava Maharaja, seeing him accept his ashram of renunciation, seeing this pastime for accepting the renounced order of life, we have attained great affection and enthusiasm.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
So this is interesting there. So we'll someone had a hands in it? Anyway, okay.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes, go on.
It says three danda, that means 3 rods.
Yeah.
But before that, it said 4 rods. Is it right? I wrote it right.
So yes. So if you see this, okay, let me show you that photo. If you see this, if you can see this clearly.
Yeah.
You can see this anyway. There are 3 rods here inside, and there is this moon.
Uh-huh.
This is the moon kind of rod. The 4th one is a small one.
Okay.
So it's compared to mind, body, words, and the intelligence. Mind, body, soul, intelligence, or words into the 4 things. When the sannyas surrenders all 4. This is for the Gaudiya Vaishnava, we have this.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
Thank
and
you,
this
Prabhu.
4th bent one. Yeah. Okay. So with that, I just thought someone had a hand up or what? Anyone? Okay. If not, you can read this one. This was something Prabhupada has mentioned himself in one of his lecture.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, shall I read?
Yeah, okay. Oh, Achyuta Prabhu has read. Is Achyuta Prabhu ready? Someone new. Go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
So I will start from, so anyway, from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I was officially initiated in 1933, just before 3 years of his passing away from this material world. So at the last moment also, just a fortnight before his passing away, he wrote me the same thing. I wrote him one letter and just he replied the same thing, that you should try to preach this gospel amongst the person who are conversant in English language. That will be very nice for you. So I was dreaming sometimes that my Guru Maharaja is calling me and I am leaving my home and going behind him. I was dreaming like that and I was thinking, oh, I have to give up my home. My Guru Maharaj wants me to give up my home life and take sannyasa. So I was thinking, it is horrible. How can I leave my home? This is called Maya. Of course, it's a long story, but incidentally, I am speaking to you because you are my dear children. So I was thinking that how can I take sannyasa and leave my home, my children? So that was a horrible thought for me, I tell you. I was thinking seriously, oh, I will have to take this course. Guru Maharaja wants me, but actually I did not like to give up my home life. But Guru Maharaja made me obliged to give up my home life. So now, by his order or by his plan, I gave up my home life. I gave up a few children, but Guru Maharaja is so kind that has given me so many nice children. So by serving Krishna, nobody becomes loser.
Yeah, it's
Should I
from a
continue?
lecture. It's
Yeah,
from a lecture, 1968. Okay.
Montreal.
Imagine, okay, 1968. He literally, couple of years or so, he went to the West, and he was sharing this to those initial disciples who were got initiated about his initial horrible experience, in his own words, how he got initiated. So, okay, Sunita Mataji, how about this one? Next read, next this one.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, please.
When my Guru Maharaj ordered me, when I was manager in Bose's laboratory, so he ordered me. So I thought, oh, I cannot do this. I cannot accept this sannyasa, but he was so kind that he is so kind still. Then he forced me, you must do it. You must do it, pulling my ear. He brought me to this life. In the beginning, I was not willing. So it is his causeless mercy upon me that I can understand now. I can understand now how much I have been relieved by accepting this life. Srila Prabhupada's lecture from Los Angeles, July 13, 1971.
Yes, thank
Shall I
you.
continue, Prabhu?
Okay, before I'll just say a few words.
Sure.
So see, so it's very interesting. You know, one of the things here is Prabhupada clearly expressed his disinterest. You know, he's clearly mentioned that he was not at all interested. You know, and interested in the sense in a sense, like it's not like he was not interested. It's like he doesn't want to take this sannyas ashram at the cost of giving up his family, job, and everything, right? But how and the reason he mentioned here in the beginning I was not willing, but it is costless mercy upon me that I can understand now that how much relieved I am, you know. So if you just relate to this, you just relate to this, and this includes me, okay. 9 out of 10 times for me, I would say 10 out of 10 times is like, if I have decided that I won't do something because of my own self judgment, that I'm not good at this, or I don't like this, or if I do this I will be looking a joker in front of others, I don't want to feel rejected, I don't want to feel judged, all those mental hallucinatory negative emotions we get and we impose on ourselves so strong, even though we do get a personal or direct or indirect instruction guidance from it could be from the spiritual master or a guru or a sannyas or a senior authority or a disciple or a devotee, right? Somehow through whatever ways, just like Prabhupada got this. Prabhupada, Guru himself came and told in the dream, and Keshav Maharaj, who is a senior godbrother, came and told through the physically. He took it as that this is my Guru Maharaj talking. If you read in the year right now, we read that, right? He was saying that no, this is my Guru Maharaj who was talking. It was not Keshav Maharaj. And same like that, when Prabhupada was somewhere distributing Back to Garden magazine, some shop wala guy said, no, Abe, you shouldn't be selling these magazines. People will buy and throw it. You should write books. That stays forever. That stays for long. People don't throw books. Then Prabhupada, again, he related that, no, this is my Guru Maharaj talking, not this shop wala guy. Because his Guru Maharaj told the same thing to Prabhupada. And he didn't accept anything else who told otherwise. That includes his own senior most god brother. Bhakti Vriksha Maharaj said, you can't write books because this is not part of our institution. We don't have budget and it's not a priority. Prabhupada said, I don't take your words. So Prabhupada was very clear that whatever his guru told and whoever is in line to that, it could be even a Shapwala Gaya, Karmi who is not even a devotee, echoes the same words. He takes it that his guru is talking through him. And here is another example. Even the most intimate personality of one guru may say the opposite of guru's instruction. He rejected that person, right? So Prabhupada was very clear on this instruction, what he got. It doesn't matter through whom it came. And it includes even if his own mind was saying, forget about his own senior God brother saying you can't do. Even if his mind said, no, you can't take sannyas, this is not good for you. He rejected. And he so lovingly, with all the pain, fear, uncertainty, he went ahead. I will do this for my Guru Maharaj, And Prabhupada says that in 1971, I'm thankful I did that, right? I'm relieved by accepting this life. So it wasn't an easy journey. And we all know that Prabhupada went through Jaladuta. We will get to see in the next week, this Sunday he traveled to US, started his journey. It took him a month to reach. And when he landed, he was still not sure. Forget about landing. He landed and went walking around and doing his preaching work to whatever extent he could for nearly weeks there, more months there, And still he was not sure. He used to come to the Jaladuta, not Jaladuta, he comes to the harbor port every single time saying, when is the next ship back? And, he was, even though he was getting all these thoughts, even though he was getting all these emotions, even though he was getting all this fear, he's a human being. That's my point is, he was, I won't, like human being, he's not like you and me, but I'm just saying he is a personality. Let's put it like that. He's a personality, has gone through all the emotions and experiences which you and me go through. But the only difference is that he was, he had this this love for his spiritual master, and the desire to serve his spiritual master was more strong. He helplessly, even though he felt helpless many times, he just took this very innocent surrendered step, which is like, you know what, I'll still follow you. And then he went again, even though he knew he's risking his life. Have you seen, maybe I'm sure many of our parents may relate to this. I'm sure you would have seen maybe you could relate in sometimes in your life where, let's say, let's say your child, for example, want to eat something or do something which is harmful or which is not good. Deep within the heart, that's why the kid wants to do that only, nothing else. But you as a parent mention, no, you can't do this. This is what you should do. An alternative. You give an alternative the kid is not really happy about. But the kid was like not really happy with your option, but not by force. Okay. Because there are times the kid may go by force and say, oh, I hate you, mom, I'll just do this anyway, I'm not talking that. But let's say the kid was like, I really don't want to do what you say. I really want to do what I want to say, but still, I'll just do what you want because I want to make you happy, right? I'm sure any of you had this experience. At least me, when I was the smaller version of me, I've done that sometimes to my parents, and it's a totally different experience. Anyone had that experience with your loved one of that? Where your child voluntarily gave up something which they really loved and they just did it what you liked because they just liked you. It wasn't because you forced them, like, I want you to do it. If not, you're not going to watch TV next 5 days, something like that. No, they're like, mom, dad, okay, now I'll do it, And you can see from their expression and the conversation, they just did it because you said. Is that a good how does that, is you as a parent and the child, how is that relation feels like? How does that, not relation, that exchange feels like? Feels sweet? Feels very touched? Do you feel touched?
Yes, Prabhu.
You may get tears also at times. I say this because lately I had one experience like that with one devotee, and it wasn't something magical. It wasn't like something like, they ended up going and doing like what Prabhupada did, crossed from one city, ocean, or went and did something amazing. It was such a very simple thing. It was such a very simple thing, but that devotee wasn't really, into what I was saying. But at the same time, they had their own interest. But just because I said that devotee did, it was such a simple thing. But for me, I was very touched. I was thinking like I wouldn't do that if my senior would have told this. Give up my own personal self-interest just because I want to make you happy. I was thinking like I wouldn't have done it, but you did it. So I felt like you have a good potential to be a good devotee. So it's like, what happens is, if imperfect beings like us feel pleased, talking about spiritual master and Krishna, right? Imagine I'm giving up something what I like, but I'm just doing it for you, Krishna. Anyway, I'll do it. I know I'm risking my life, risking many things just to please you. 100% the Lordship, the spiritual master is indebted. And you can see Prabhupada, he's mentioned this repeatedly. I didn't want to do this. I just don't want to do this. But I just did it. And I feel happy I did it. And it wasn't a jolly switch. He's not like, okay, I will do it for you. And after sannyas initiation, he's like, okay, life is perfect. And I know it wasn't, right? All the way from Jaladuta to US to stroke to Bombay incident, you name it. It goes forever. But Prabhupada always took the choice, which is like, I didn't want to do it. I did it, but I will continue still doing it. Even if my own senior God brother says no, I will do it. Even if my own dearest mind says no, I will still do it. Not because I have to do it, because I just want to do it so that you can be happy. Who? My Guru, my beloved Lord Krishna. So it's a very sweet exchange, right? I mean, like, this is a devotion, this is like Krishna consciousness. So my point is, Krishna consciousness is something, this is where when you read these exchanges of love between a pure devotee and his spiritual master, to Krishna Mahaprabhu, it's very deep, that we don't need any big degrees for this. When you just read this and you relate with your own life, you'll be like, wow, how sweet is that? I wish I can have this sweet exchange, right? At least we desire. And Krishna within the heart, he will acknowledge. He's saying, okay, at least you're desiring. At least you're thinking, maybe one day we will have that exchange. It's been many lifetimes, we will soon have it. So it's important, when we have this kind of a click in the heart and we feel like, I want to also have this. I could see Prabhupada did it. I could see his disciples have done that, and they have that always. I wish I can have that loving exchange. It's a very simple thing, but it's very complex for us, to do. So I can go on reading this, but it may take time. But I want to show you one. This is something which I didn't know. Actually, literally, I didn't know. I just saw this video and found out. I'll show you this 5-minute. You know what? I'll show this 5-minute video, and there is a 10-minute kind of a quote from Radhanath Maharaj about Prabhupada. So I think this will end in 9:30 there. We'll just show you this one thing which I didn't know, a fact about Prabhupada. Okay? In fact, let me ask you before I show this. So what's Prabhupada's birth name?
Birth. You said what?
Birth name. Like his, he got, what was his name given by father?
Abhay.
Abhay Charande. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And when he got first initiated, what was the new word got added?
Abhay Charan Arvinda.
Abhay Charanaravinda.
Okay. Abhay Charanaravinda. Okay. And then during his life, just before sannyas, he got a title. What is that?
Bhakti Vedanta.
Okay. But here is a hidden secret. He actually got another title before, which you will see in this video. And then it got renamed to Bhaktivedanta. Okay, fine. Bhaktivedanta Abe Charanaravindra Das. Okay. Now, he got sannyas. What is his sannyas name? You know, when you get sannyas, you get a name. So if his name is Bhaktivedanta Abe Charanaravindra Das, well, what is missing there? And what's the sannyas name?
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada was actually given by his disciples. So here's the quiz. So even I didn't realize. Watch this 5-minute clip. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let me know if you're here. Oops, hold on. It's in mute. You can hear?
You have a full screen option. Yeah. I mean, we can't hear though till now.
You can hear?
No problem.
We shared the sound.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe let me stop. No? Okay, share sound. Oh yeah. How about now? Slowly, in a second. Oh. Again, it's muted. You can hear?
There must be 2 options. Oh yeah, it's coming now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's coming now.
Okay, here.
Did you see any optimum sound option as well?
Our last recording.
Hold on. Come on. What is this? Okay. Like advanced sharing option. There is nothing called optimum.
Okay, then it's fine.
Oh yeah, optimize for video sharing. Okay, let me do this. This keeps going on mute.
Guru Maharaj Sannyas name. We had.
You can hear?
From
Yeah,
it's
clear.
Okay.
About the changes in your sannyas name and Guru Maharaj Sannyas name. We had a question from few devotees asking if there was any precedence in our parampara about this kind of name changes.
Yes, there's quite a few different precedents set regarding name changing and initiation and so on. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta gave initiation to Prabhupada in 1933, he gave him the name Abhay Charanaravinda Das, meaning one who is fearless and who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. After the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, his godbrother, Prabhupada's godbrother, Srila Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, called Prabhupada to Delhi to write for his Bengali publications. At that time, the godbrothers were very impressed with Prabhupada's writings. As we know, Prabhupada is very expert in that way. So Srila Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj was inspired by this writing to give him the title Bhakti Siddhanta Das, the name of their own guru. You can find this in the League of Devotees registration, which was in Lucknow in, I believe, the 1950s. So there it says, alias Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Siddhanta Das Adhikari. However, the name of one's guru is not normally given, so the godbrother godbrothers objected, just like my godbrothers would object. So similarly, they objected to the name Bhaktisiddhanta Das, and there isn't really any precedence for that. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who was often asked to clarify the lectures of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he suggested the name Bhakti Vedanta Das, because this keeps in the same spirit and keeps the original inspiration of Bhaktishranga Goswami. So they all agreed on this in the spirit of harmony, that this would be a very good thing. And this was in Calcutta in 1947. This was so much inspired Keshava Maharaj, the name Bhaktivedanta, that henceforward he named all of his sannyasi disciples Bhaktivedanta, and his followers and disciples continue to do that to this day. When Srila Keshava Maharaj in 1959 gave sannyas to Prabhupada, he kept this Bhaktivedanta name and gave Prabhupada the sannyas name Swami Maharaj, or Swami. Now, the actual technical form is Swami, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Because the Swami is a sannyasi name.
Yeah.
So 2 times Swami is not good.
Yeah.
So Prabhupada wrote in a letter to one of his disciples, he said, Swami is my particular name as a sannyasi and must be suffixed at the end of my real name, A.C. Bhaktivedanta. So far the prefix Swami is concerned, every sannyasi has got that. But 2 ways Swami, Swami A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, it doesn't look good. It's very awkward. So the end Swami is necessary because of it is my sannyas name. And the first Swami in the name can be changed to Goswami because it has the same meaning. So then when we say Tridandi Goswami, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, and we find that this was appropriate, and that's what Prabhupada used all the time. So Vaishnava sannyasis are generally known as Tridandi sannyasis, so it was perfectly fine to put Tridandi Goswami, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And we find that on his letterhead and on his card. We have the Bhaktivedanta purports of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which are known throughout the world. And the term Bhaktivedanta has become known throughout the world also because of Prabhupada's prolific preaching.
This Facebook thing is useless. Wasn't good. You heard or what? Was it good? Did you get the point?
Yeah. It was, breaking, but it came through, yes.
Yeah, it came pretty bad there. But you can see the translation thing here. See, so far the title Swami is concerned, although this word is used generally for sannyasi, this Swami is my particular name as sannyasi. Therefore, it must be suffixed at the end of my real name, A.C. Bhaktivedanta. So for the prefix Swami is concerned, every sannyasi has to go to do that. But 2 ways Swami is not looking good. The end Swami is necessary because it is my sannyas name. The first Swami may be transformed into Goswami. which is on the same order of Swami. Therefore, I use the prefix Tridandi Goswami and suffix Swami as I printed on my card enclosed here. This will be nice in small lettering. It can be written above my name, Tridandi Goswami, are known as Tridandi Swami, and my other son is known as Swami. So that's the story behind his sannyas name. Interesting, Anna? Have you heard this before?
So the name is Swami.
Yes, Prabhupada was given the name Swami.
Very well.
That's his sannyas name. Interesting, huh? I wasn't aware either. And generally Goswamis, do you know who gets Goswami title generally?
After they are married and they take sannyas.
Huh?
Who can control their sense, Prabhu?
That is good.
Yeah, Swami and Goswami both are like that. But is it generally like Goswamis, they go through all the different stages? Like
yes, so they go through all the ashram and finally take sannyas.
Yeah.
So that's why you can see even in our movement also Tamal Krishna Goswami, because Tamal Krishna Maharaj was married, and you can see Gopal Krishna Goswami.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Indradurma Goswami, I think he was called something or something like that. Yeah, I've not heard his name is Indradurma Goswami. I can't quote his name. But generally, Prabhupada has mentioned Goswami against personalities who are married earlier. So Goswamis are given like that. Goswami Adhikari, it will come like that. Okay, so I thought I will share this one. It's a 10-minute thing where Radhanath Maharaj is giving a short snippet of how this whole thingy happened for initiation around that period. Ready to hear? You can hear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Are you sharing?
Oh, hold on a second. Good point. No. Let me 1 second make it up. Okay. So, share. Hey. See the screen?
Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati left this world, and as Srila Prabhupada
can you hear?
Served his godbrothers and
Yes,
served.
Prabhu, we can hear you.
Okay.
He started in the 1940s, the Back to Godhead magazine. He would personally write the articles. He would personally edit it. He would personally type it. He would personally take it to the printers. He would personally buy the paper. He had no one to help him. He would personally raise all the funds for it single-handedly. The printer, sometimes he had no money. He would just say, just print it, I will pay you sometime. The printer would say, but so many times you're saying this. But the printer could not refuse. And Prabhupada was very responsible in all of his debts. Somehow or other, he just depended on Krishna. And who was his distributors? There was only one distributor of this magazine, Srila Prabhupada, of Hai Charanaravinda. He would go out himself to the tea stalls and to the marketplaces and to the bazaars and to people's homes, and he would preach to them and get them to somehow take a magazine or accept a subscription. Later on in his life, he was getting dreams, repeated dreams, where his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, would stand before him as the very embodiment of devotion and knowledge. And he would say, come with me. Take sannyas and preach throughout the world. And when Srila Prabhupada was still in Grihastha life and he got this dream, he was thinking, how horrible. How could I leave all these things? As the years went by, he took Vanaprastha, as the Vedic system ordains. And he was living in Vrindavan, and he was doing his writings of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was also doing his Back to Godhead. And this dream came again and again. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati would come before him and call him, I have given you a mission. Take sannyas and fulfill this mission. Srila Prabhupada did not want to take sannyas for prestige. He wanted to take it for the only reason that Lord Chaitanya took it, to facilitate the need of society, to fulfill the compassion of himself and all the previous acharyas to spread Krishna's mercy to the world. So he wrote to the leading Gaudiya Math in Calcutta, and he expressed his desire. And the head of that Math wrote back to him that you want us to print your books and you want to take sannyas. First you come here and you live comfortably. We will give you a nice, well-lit, airy room, and you become a part of our temple, and you serve the society of this temple for some time, and then we will consider giving you sannyas after some years. And as far as your books, we have so many other books we want to print, and we have so little money, so there is not much hope for this in the near future. Mm-hmm. So Srila Prabhupada understood that they were facing many difficulties themselves, but he also understood the order his spiritual master gave him. So one day he approached one of his godbrothers in Mathura, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And Srila Keshav Maharaj said, you must take sannyas, now, immediately, no wait. Our Guru has given you an order. You cannot preach all over the world and start such a movement unless you are a sannyasi. So you must do it now. And Prabhupada, after hearing from the other acharya of another Gaudiya Math saying you should wait, you should take your time, he was thinking, maybe not now. But Prabhupada said that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, through Keshav Maharaj, told him immediately now he would not leave him alone. You must. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhu. So Srila Prabhupada understood with all humility that this is what his Guru Maharaj desired. So it was today. We are celebrating the anniversary. September 17th, by the English calendar, 1959, that Srila Prabhupada went to Mathura, to the Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math. And there, with one other 90-year-old man named Sanatan, who was his godbrother, they sat before the sacred fire, and they accepted the vows of sannyas. Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj was leading kirtan. Srila Narayan Maharaj was performing the fire yagya. And Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj told our devotees, came for Srila Prabhupada's sannyas. And as other mantras was being chanted, Krishnadas Babaji told us the story. That one of the devotees told him that don't chant so loud, let the mantras be chanted. So he stopped chanting. And then Prabhupada turned to him and said, chant. And Prabhupada was sitting at the yagya. And then someone would say, no, you stop chanting. So he was humble. To chant like Krishnadas Babaji constantly, you have to be Trinada Pisunichena, Torora Pisuhishmana, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadani. So very humbly he would stop chanting. He would just, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Not stop chanting, but not chant loud. He would never stop chanting. So then Prabhupada said, chant louder. So Krishnadas Babaji said, at that moment I knew that this is a man who has complete faith in the holy name, and he is the man who will be empowered to spread the holy name throughout the world. Srila Prabhupada ki. So during this ceremony, Srila Keshav Maharaj gave his sannyasa initiation talk, and then he did something that was very unprecedented. He asked one of the people who was going to be initiated, Bhakti Vedanta Prabhu. He said, now you give a lecture. There was no invitations sent out because it was a very sudden decision when the sannyasa initiation would be. They wanted to have it on this auspicious day of Vishwarup Mahotsava. So the only people at the Mat were just the regular brahmacharis and devotees. And except for Keshav Maharaj, Narayan Maharaj, and a few others, Krishnadas Babaji, none of them spoke English. They were all either Hindi speaking or mostly Bengali speaking. Srila Prabhupada knew all these languages fluently. But when he was asked to speak, he understood what his Guru Maharaj desired. And he gave his lecture in English. Because he was taking sannyas for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world in the English language. Because that is the world's language. And then he accepted the order. And he was given the name A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj. And by Srila Prabhupada's great act of renunciation of sannyas, he dedicated his body, his mind, his words, and his very life to compassionately give us the mercy of Krishna and Krishna consciousness. Today is one of the most important days for the devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Today is the day that Srila Prabhupada formally made this step of total sacrifice to save us from the repetition of birth and death and give us entrance into the eternal world of divine love, Goloka Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada ki. And Srila Prabhupada's message and mercy is available to everyone. Because in this age of Kali Yuga, the means of achieving Krishna Prema, Krishna Bhakti, is through the congregational chanting of the holy names of Radha and Krishna. So at this time, let us offer our lives at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and celebrate his mercy by sincerely chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami.
Haribo. Heard the thing? Did you all hear it?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. It was great.
Yes.
Ah, nice.
So amazing. Radhanath Maharaj ki jai. Full
Jai.
synopsis in a clear, articulated in 10 minutes. So finally, it's in summary there, we can see that Prabhupada's sannyas initiation is a pure act, an offering of love for his guru, even though it wasn't an easy one. And you can see Prabhupada, this one thing I just picked up from Maharaj's a note there is that he took initiation, sannyas initiation, and he immediately started executing the order of his guru, which is what?
Preaching in English.
Faith in the holy name, actually.
Yes, preaching the holy name, talking in English.
Talking in English.
Even though the whole crowd is in Bengali Hindi, because his guru has told him that you should preach in English, he just straight away started the business, started talking in English, started preaching in English, because that's the mission of him taking sannyas, and he immediately started from that moment. Imagine how laser focused, huh? Prabhupada was like, he's not playing games there. No playing games, straight into business. Just that moment, got into the business, just started preaching English. So it's amazing. So it's something for us to learn and just contemplate on, is that sometimes love is generally directly associated to a very pleasurable thing, right? Love means it's always a pleasurable thing. It's very much something which we should happily get to do. But you can see in Prabhupada's episode of taking sannyas, at least that initial acceptance and taking sannyas oath wasn't a very pleasurable exchange, at least explicitly. He went through a difficult period, and that loving exchange was a very painful exchange. He went through a lot of pain. He went through a lot of pain to have that to offer that love to his guru. But obviously, like he said, it was always what's the word he used? He is relieved. He feels relieved that he did that. So we need to equate that. Just we need to contemplate on these small bits and bobs that we shouldn't always equate nice, easygoing, jolly thing as the most go-to thing which we have to have. Rather, we should always contemplate on what's the actual thing we need to accomplish. And even if the means to achieve that is going to be a difficult journey, we have to contemplate on the choice. Do we want an easy journey, but not the right destination, or we just want to go through a tough journey, but go for the right end destination? So, or the goal we want to achieve. So Prabhupada sannyas initiation, we just can contemplate on that point. how we can follow in the footsteps, even though it's a tough journey, how we can do the right thing. And at the same time, not getting deviated from some of the instructions which we want to follow. Everyone may sync with some instruction, but which, some of the instructions which we have sync with our Guru or Prabhupada, how we can follow that at every moment, like Prabhupada did it straight after. He did it anyway from day one, but straight after initiation of sannyas, he was explicitly very clear what he wants to do. So nice. Just thought to share those and exchange. It was a good exercise for me to also see through some of these things, which I generally may not have done if I wasn't sitting there. So it's good. I believe that's it. Prabhupada Sannyas anyway finished yesterday. So next week is next Sunday, coming Sunday, Saturday. Yeah, coming Saturday is Prabhupada arrival in US, which is another, not arrival. Is it arriving or arrival or starting? No, anniversary of Prabhupada's arrival. Wow, okay.
Arrival, yeah.
Prabhupada's arrival in the US. Okay, that's a very dramatical one. We all know that, but good to always remind ourselves where we are coming from, where we should be heading towards. Sometimes we get lost in the noise, because there's noise everywhere in the life, in all, even in apparently even sometimes we end up in an association and we end up hearing noise sometimes if people around us are not very much fixed up, and we end up pretty much going in a direction where we may not even be originally signed for. Sometimes, we all joined. I'm sure everyone can maybe relate to this. All of us joined the movement thinking we will do something, and we joined. Right? For me, I relate to that, because when I joined the movement, I was like thinking so many things. Oh, I'm going to do this, that, years pass, months, days, years, everything pass. I'm like, going in some, where did I go? Where did I start actually? And you're like, wow, I started here and I end up in some other direction. So that's why it's important. All these anniversaries, all these special days, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, every Ekadasi is, in fact, he says, every Ekadasi is a time where we need to sit, reflect where we are, where we want to go, and try to adjust and realign to our destination, So it's an important thing. So these days these are not like you just hear some pastime, clap hands and go, but rather we should see, what was my true intent of coming in, where I should be going and where I am, and how can I realign myself. It's always a good, and guess what? Tomorrow morning I'm going to do the same wrong thing. Okay, that's the fact anyway. But my point is that's not wrong. It's fine. At least I'm trying to realign on a daily basis, or if not daily, at least during all these special events, right? So at least let's keep that as part of our exercise in life, where you realign during Ekadasis, or maybe on a daily basis before you go to bed, or at least during this kind of special days, so that we can one day maybe Krishna will knock our head. That alignment knocks us out, just like what's this personality who went after the prostitute, Chintamani? What's his name?
Bilvamangal Thakur.
Bilvamangal Thakur, right? How many people would have told him what he should and what he shouldn't? Even his father's death itself didn't make him realize, but Chintamani made him realize. One shot, knocked out. That's it. He went to U-turn, didn't come back. So at times it's good to hear same thing. We may think like, Prabhuji, I've heard this million times. Yes, mate, good. Hear this million times. Maybe the millionth one time will knock you out. Knock you out that you will, that's it, you will take a U-turn, right? That's what has happened many of our Acharyas' life. And many pastimes have happened like that. And we have our own experience. How many of us, I can clearly tell you, I have my own experience anyway. I'm sure all of you may have. You would have heard the same thing 10 times. Maybe the 11th time one guy told you, it just clicks. And then you did it from then on, whatever it was. Could be chanting, could be reading, could be something, right? Do you have experience like that? Like you would have heard the same thing many times, but that one time clicked something. For me, I say this always. Even after initiation, okay, I never used to wear dhoti kurta tilak. I was very adamant. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. I know that I'm an adamant guy. But I've heard that many times, okay, but there was one particular gathering, one particular sannyasi came and told the same thing, knocked my head after. Until today, I wear tilak, even if I go to office. I say, get lost, I don't care, right? It's like, the reason I say this, sometimes, many of us, sometimes many devotees say, oh, Prabhuji, same lecture, same class, same story. What is the point of hearing? Yeah, mate, that's the point. Keep hearing. One day it will knock you off the socks. Then you'll wake up, you'll be a different person. This overnight change they tell, like overnight I changed, Prabhuji. That's what happens. It's not technically, it's not an overnight change. You have heard this 100 times, but we make this overnight decision. Like, I'm doing this from tomorrow. I don't care. That happens, So you never know which class, which Prabhuji can knock your head off. When I say knock your head off, not like smack your head, I mean like, make you self-realize, like, wow, okay, I'm going to do this now. You never know. Krishna, at any moment, he will switch on the key. And that could happen from any devotee's mouth. So that's why we shouldn't shy away from hearing the same old story every single time. It's not some movie we are watching, This is something different. One is watching and accumulating knowledge. Two is watching and transforming. Two are different. Okay. Knowledge accumulation, I get it. You can get that anywhere, anytime. You can hear 100 times. No worries, do it. Okay. But no, you're not attending association for knowledge accumulation. You're not, what do you call this? You're not a jnani or something, right? We are looking for transformation. That's why we go for association. At least in Hare Krishna movement, we go for that only. We go for transformation, not just simply accumulating knowledge. What is the use of your 2 penny knowledge? You think you're going to be equal to Gaurav Gopal Prabhu? Are you going to be equal to Gauranga Prabhu? Right? Or Amarendra Prabhu? They are insignificant ants in front of all these people. Okay? If you're talking about knowledge, they can give knowledge more than your uncle, auntie, a million times multiplied. They can transform many people by their class. We are not here for knowledge. We go, this knowledge we are accumulating so it can transform us. But that transformation, it's not at all in our control, my dear friend. No. Our only effort is take your body, go and put your body in that association and open your ears, obviously, and try to hear. And you never know. Krishna may switch on the engine at that conversation. You never know. Or maybe not. Okay, come next time. Come next time. Maybe that time will come like Wilbur Manga Taklur had, boom, light opens up. Then you'll never turn, man. I guarantee you. They may give you every single enticing product in the world. You'll be like, I don't care, I'm going. I'm sure all of you have made decisions. That's why many of you have given up for regulative, start practicing 4x, 16 rounds and doing. Because you made that choice one day, right? That choice happened just like that. And you yourself don't know how you made the choice. If you say, no, I made the choice. If that is the case, I tell you, make a choice now and start tomorrow. Can you do anything like that? We can't, You may say right now to me, I'm waking up 3:30 from tomorrow morning. I'll call you day after tomorrow. You say, Prabhuji, nothing happened. Yeah, because you think you make decision, No. You only can make a normal decision and the actual empowerment comes from the Lord. But you never know when that click happens. Right? That's why Damodar story is there. Effort is your effort, which is you taking your body and putting it in the place where you have to be, which is association. But second is the mercy. That click has to happen. So that's why never ever underestimate, sitting in a class, doing this, hearing that. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. So no, I'm not going for that. That's not the game. So that's why I'm saying you never know. We all need to wait for that transformation and put our efforts towards that. Then naturally the day will come. Just like every single small decision happened in your life and you have come till today, the remaining also will happen. But never underestimate an association based on some, it's, like I'm saying this because this is what happens. Let's say today it was Gaurav Gopal Prabhu class. Maybe 250 people will be there. Maybe 1,000, who knows? Or Amarendra Prabhu, 100 plus, Vivek Prabhu will be pinging me. Prabhu, I need to extend the license. Can I extend the license? 100 above is going. I can't approve more than that, right? I know we had that conversation before, right? So I'm not saying it's a wrong thing. I'm just, obviously, we want to take Senior Devotees Association. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is we shouldn't walk into an association with that mindset. That's my point. Not walk into an association thinking, oh, I will hear a lot of stories. I'll get this. I will get that. That's okay for a new person, someone who's not been in Krishna conscious, brand new, right? Brand new, doesn't know what is Krishna Rama. Okay, yeah, that's different. But I'm sure many of you here have crossed years and years of practice. Yeah, I'm sure you're going further. You're going like one step beyond that. So our goal is like that, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was that? He was hearing, is it Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or what? And somewhere, I don't know, some personality, they were hearing Dhruva Maharaj's pastime and saying, tell me again, he was hearing.
Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu, yeah. So I'm not saying, Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. Anyway, we're not comparing ourselves with him. But I'm just saying that that's how it is that, yeah, what is that? I've heard Janyas was attend every single Bhagavad in Mayapur. Yeah, who the speaker is. True, So the point is this only, like really, we genuinely, I just want to underline because you can see, this, you just see Prabhupada, it's like it's gold, what he was doing. He said, it's like literally, you can see the difference, he was laser focused, he was like, like many pastors, and Prabhupada was sitting and hearing his guru's lecture while everyone is going for Govardhan Parikrama, like all those things. He was like laser focused, didn't understand a word, he will sit and hear. Same Prabhupada's disciples did. Prabhupada's disciples, many of them, I know Mukunda Maharaj, I can't even forget this. I heard only once, until today I quote 100 times. Mukunda Maharaj was interviewed in one particular, one reporter, how did he got into Krishna consciousness? And he was saying that, we don't know who this blue boy was. We didn't know, we can't even understand a single word of this Swami because he had such a thick Indian accent, But he was saying that, but all we did, we did all of this because we just loved him, we want to help him, and his association enlivened us. They were like, just hit the essence. No knowledge transfer, okay? Here's very clear. Here's a relationship, no knowledge was transferring because they can't even understand English. Okay, but they were just glued, serving, associating, because there was, what was happening? Knowledge was transferring, or transformation was happening. Yeah, they were getting transformative experiences, right? So our association is that, we need to go in that mindset, go take association. Then we'll follow footsteps of Prabhupada. Prabhupada did it, his disciples did it. And we know many of his disciples are also doing it. That's why Amarendra Prabhu is Amarendra Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu is Gauranga Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu, and you are you and me and me. Okay. It's not like they got some extra broadband connection. Mercy, we were like bereft of everything. Nothing like that. Okay. We know, I went to this Chowpatty, and who runs this Hare Krishna TV? Was that Prabhu? Vaishnava Seva Prabhu, right? His name? Vaishnava Seva Prabhu. His name is Vaishnava Seva.
Yeah.
This person is a full-time grasta. Okay, he's a grasta, and we went to Mumbai just like that. Oh, not just like that. Sorry, we went to visit actually all these temples, and then Rajesh Prabhu, Rajesh Nair, he took us around. He knows all of them. So we went to Bhaktivedanta Hospital, and this Vaishnava Seva Prabhu is a doctor. Okay, and he is sitting and doing job till 9 o'clock at night. He's there. Literally, the whole hall was filled with patients. I'm not joking here. The whole hall was filled with patients. And he was inside doing some consultation. We just went around, took a tour of the hospital. And this what's his name? Rajesh Nair was saying that, Prabhu, please, let's not, because we were where we were staying, and this was a bit of a distance. So he was saying, Prabhu will wait. Prabhu said he will come. I said, okay, no problem. We were just there standing around, and this Vaishnava Seva Prabhu came out. And then he just introduced Hare Krishna Prabhu, da, 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 da. And then all these patients are there. And he said, and he was talking, the Rajesh was introducing, and then he said, Prabhu, they come from here, they want to see what are happening here, they want to kind of get some inspiration. And then this Prabhu said, oh, he said, okay, have you seen Hare Krishna TV? And he spoke about that. And he said, you know what, come, I'll take you. I said, take me where? I'm like, these patients are there. You go, Prabhuji, how are you going to come? He said, no, don't worry. There are doctors there. They will work it out. Let's go. He drove all the way from his hospital to his house. Okay. And when he entered his house, I was gobsmacked and thrown in the floor. He has a flat. That flat, he has a wife. Okay. He's married. He has kids. One room was a hall. Next room was literally an ICU unit because his mom was very sick. She can literally survive with oxygen only. That was literally like an IC unit. Hospital bed, TV on the top, oxygen. So like, what is this, bro? Like he was like, this is my mom. And this Mataji is constantly saying Hare Krishna program. Night at 10 o'clock, by the time we reached our home. I was like, okay. And then he took us way further inside the flat. Full office, man. 2-3 rooms. I think nearly that night, 10 o'clock, there were 4 or 5 people working there. Each room, one room was full, like a data center, full of disk and big room with office. And he was like, for nearly 30 minutes, like as if he was introducing me to his lover or someone. Full of smile, constantly talking, Prabhu this, Prabhu that. I am no one, okay? I'm not a GBC temple president or am I nothing, okay? He was just going around introducing, talking every single thing about every single machine he got, about the desk he got, about the show he got, about that Mataji employee, that Prabhu employee. He was just so happy, talking the whole thing, okay? Did the whole thing, came out, and then he gave us a gift. He gave us a gift like a proper flask of something, and then he left maybe after 1 hour again. Where? He went back to the hospital for job. And I said, Prabhuji, I'm so sorry. You need to sacrifice. Why do you need to spend all this time for us? He said, no. You all have come. This is my service to you. And then he said, oh, tomorrow I have to go to a temple for Pujari Seva. I was thinking, are you a machine or a human being? Because imagine, he's working all the night. He does this on the background. And he does Pujari Seva next day morning. And then he goes to hospital again. Like, imagine. Is this guy personified? And Radhanath Maharaj, every single time he hits Chowpati, guess where he goes first? Yes, you guessed it. It's his house. He makes sure he meets this Prabhuji. Do you think no one would like to see him? I cannot forget. It's been years visiting that place. So these are the personalities who are transformed. They are busy people doing some big stuff, but their life is transformed like anything because they take every association. See, we are all nothing in his dictionary. I came from London, but it means nothing to this Prabhuji. I'm not even his god brother. Simple English. I'm not even related to him. Only the relation is Prabhupada. But why does he has to leave his hospital appointment, go all the way, do everything, and then going back to the hospital? You get the point? The mood of service, they're so sold out, so much imbibed in the mood of service to serve their spiritual master. And they are like and this is just one example. I have another example also, but anyway, it's too late. Same. This is again in GEV or somewhere. There's another devotee, totally sold out. But I'm saying, normal people, man, normal grahastha, working in 5th gear, and fully big people, okay? They are not like some superstore till swiping guy. They're all like very responsible people, but they are responsible, transformed devotees. So powerful they are. So that's why I'm saying these are all, I'm not saying this is not only reserved for Prabhupada and Prabhupada sannyasis, disciples, or even like people like Gaurav Gopal also, he's a brahmachari. No, even normal people, when I say normal, married people are doing this. right? It's not reserved for anyone. So my point is, it all starts from the basics. That's what I say. We attend association with a genuine heart that I may hear the same story 100th time, but I want this to click my heart so I can become the person who I should be in the service, right? Hence the reason Prabhupada was different from other sannyasis. Many sannyasis took initiation. He also took initiation, but his initiation changed the world. Other sannyasis' initiation didn't change the world. You get the point? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur just didn't give preach in English to him. You know that, right? Many of his disciples have gone to UK, England. In other words, this instruction was not explicitly given for Bhakti Vedanta Swami. It was given to others also. But there is a difference. Bhakti Vedanta Swami was a personality. And to be frank, like you have read that life history there, we read that a bit. He was saying that just 3 years before his departure, he got initiated. In other words, he had only 3 years, he was a disciple of his guru. How many years we are, right? Here's the difference, you know. And imagine how much he has soaked, to the extent that he was dreaming and living that even though it was fearful, he felt it's a horrible proposal by his guru, still he did it. So my point is, these are all small things. I'm not saying we're going to change tomorrow, okay? Don't worry, even I won't do that. I myself not there. But my point is, we need to have the mindset and the spirit right as to, okay, this is what is the gold standard, and this is what I should be hitting for. You know, I need to have the strong desire. I go to association with the mood of what I can learn, which can help me transform. Not like, oh, Prabhu, I've heard this lecture. I've seen many times. You heard this lecture, immediately mobile phone comes and I start doing something. Tick, tick, tick. I know what is next sentence anyway. Okay. Why do I need to hear this Prabhuji Maharaj talking? Right? So please, I personally would recommend and I wouldn't recommend that. We need to go there to really absorb the vibe. Our mood is to absorb the energy, the mood of the speaker, the mood of that message which is coming from there. And the more it can click us, the more the better. The more it's not clicking us, I will do it again until it clicks. We need to do it again and again until it clicks. And even after clicking, you will do, because you will be intoxicated to hear that more anyway after it clicks. But our mood is to be more towards, I need the transformation. I need to change. That's why I'm here sitting for an association. I may hear the same Krishna appearing in the jail story, but I will wait for that day that Krishna appearing in the jail makes me Krishna conscious. You see? So this is an important thing, so that we can, I don't know, pray one day that we can follow genuinely in the footsteps of Prabhupada. Again, you know, like I read this somewhere, we, you know, all our preaching services and projects and whatever you're doing could be deity worship, cooking, you name whatever you want. It shouldn't be it shouldn't become like one other thing which I did in my Krishna consciousness. You know, there's a bit difference. It shouldn't become another thing which I've done for the year or for the day or for the week. No, it is a devotional service which should be done with love and care. So after the service is done, I should have developed. Prabhupada only said this, you know, all your projects are useless if it has not taken you, if it has not helped you develop love for Krishna. That was another mind-blowing statement. I still remember. All your projects are useless unless it doesn't help you to develop love for Krishna. Let's put it like this. Let's say you distributed 10,000 books, and after the book distribution marathon is finished, and you go to the Thanksgiving and your name was not read, no, not one single individual acknowledged you, not even one individual even thanked you, even called your name, even recognized you exist. But you are still blissful in Krishna consciousness because everyone is acknowledged and, you know, encouraged. Okay, I think there is a little bit of purity of heart has increased, little bit of devotion of Krishna has been. But how many times I'm saying, because I am that person. I'm there like my name is gonna come next, or my name is gonna come in 5 minutes, or my East London BV is gonna come in 2 minutes, or my circle name is gonna come in 5 minutes. It's like, you get the point. Me, mine, myself, rotating in that world only. So Prabhupada's dictionary, no, it's a failure. We have failed basically. Why? Because I'm not developed love for Krishna. I've just developed love for my ego. My ego, I love my ego so much. This particular accomplishment is gonna pour oil in that ego. So these are all important things. We just need to contemplate on that. Whatever service, association, whatever we are doing, it should not become just another thing which I've done. It should be devotional service, which should be with an intent of, okay, have I developed any devotion? Have I improved in my devotion? Have I developed any level of enthusiasm to serve Krishna? Because devotion you can't measure. It's very subtle. But enthusiasm you can measure. Have I developed any enthusiasm to serve Krishna? Have I come in little enthusiastic and gone out with full enthusiasm? Not full, at least with a 10% enthusiasm. I came in thinking I won't do this. I've gone out. I feel like I'm going to do this now. I'm pumped. You get the point? So that shows a little bit of, it may be motivation, could be mental, but at the same time, since you have an enthusiasm towards serving Krishna, at least it shows an element of devotion there. It makes you think like, okay, it makes you feel blessed that Krishna is helping me. I am aligned with Krishna's interest, right? So yeah, I think these things are needed so that we can align ourselves in the footsteps of Prabhupada, sannyas, and his arrival. So something to think about, contemplate, keep digesting this. So we can do our best towards it rather than making it another chore. I just feel that is more commonly. I feel that's the noise we get to hear mostly. Shouldn't become like that. Our association shouldn't become like that. Our services shouldn't become like that. And and what happens is when that noise affects us, naturally we're gonna spill it out to others also, and this virus just spreads, and everyone starts to think and behave like that noise, which is pretty much driven for some egoistic purpose rather than for some spiritual intent. So that's it, Hare Krishna, Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, job done. Downloaded everything for the next 10 years. We'll come back after. Anything else? You guys announce anything or what? Nothing else to announce, I believe. I think this Sunday is Soho Volunteers Dinner anyway. So whoever is registered,
Yeah.
you all attend there.
Yeah, and 13th, I think the Rath Yatra, the East London Rath Yatra is coming. So 13th, they are organizing a Sankirtan festival.
MSF. Yeah, MSF East London MSF is 13th. So that, as Prabhu said, Yogeshwar Prabhu, devotees can distribute books and also the flyers.
Yeah, 13th, and I think this is the last Rath Yatra for the year. I believe every year it happens like that. I don't know if anything.
Yeah, it's last.
Yeah, last one.
And it's going to be pretty different than the previous years. It's going to be fully high street, a little different. One experiment. Let's see. And I would say we can bring
try our best to bring all our new friends, new people. I mean, workplace, everywhere, whoever can get in touch, can come and touch the Rath, get connected. That is the goal.
Yeah,
one of the
good.
main goals.
Yeah.
The common
to connect many people.
I would say, any friends, family whoever was tough nut to crack, put them in this list for Rath Yatra. They can come and hopefully get inspired, transformed by someone's association there. You never know. Yeah.
Yes, fine.
Hey, and also I would say this, okay, and I'll just close it off with this one. Rath Yatra Day, see, is another thing. I know many of you bring many people, many of you bring many of your friends or for a family like that. See, make a note that you just don't come on your own with them and then go on your own with them. Okay. When you bring people, use that opportunity to introduce them to any senior devotees there, right? That's what you generally have to do. When you bring any of your new people, make sure that you voluntarily push your way through and introduce them to any Prabhupada disciples there, sannyasis there, or any senior devotees are walking around from temple or all that, because remember, you brought them there so that they can get some association and inspiration, transformation. All that words, mix it up, right? But that won't happen by automatic. They just come and some thunderbolt come in his head and he goes back Krishna conscious. It's not like that. You need to get him to talk to someone, and you never know. Just that exchanges change people. You never have no clue, man. 100%. I'm sure you all have experience. I have my own experience. So you just need to make sure, go on somewhere, shake hands with, try to shake hand that new person with some senior of some sort. And yeah, magic could happen. We don't know. So just keep that in mind. So that
That's true, actually.
Yes.
That was the London Rath Yatra of 2008. That was the first time, because Madan Mohan Prabhu obviously knew me 2008. So that's London Rath Yatra 2008. So it must be June, July time 2008. So Madan Mohan Prabhu, I was with him, and then he introduced me to His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj that time. So obviously that time was very big, heavy body, and so he introduced me to Maharaj, and he said he is Bhakta Yogesh, so please bless him. So then Guru Maharaj actually saw me and he said, "Oh, you look very nice." And then he had a big bead bag. Actually, it was very heavy. So he put that bead bag on my head and he said, "One day you will be utilized. You will utilize your talent very nicely in Krishna's." I had no idea who this person is actually. I didn't even know him that time.
You see?
I didn't know. I mean, all I knew was Madan Mohan Prabhu, and then later on I asked who that person was actually. His bead bag was very heavy. He put on my head.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
it was very nice.
See,
Yes.
today you are here. That's the point.
Yeah, that day actually transformed me.
Yes, so you never know. Krishna inspires anyone, and like that day it was Jayapatak Maharaj. To this time it could be any other Prabhujis or Maharaj. Don't worry, Krishna will empower through anyone who is there if he has chosen to. So make sure this is it's not just Rath Yatra. I'm just saying in general, you have this mindset. Anywhere you take any of your friends or family around, just make sure you get this connection with someone there, and you never know. Things, people, they just click, they get a click there. So I just thought I'd throw that because I've seen many of our people, they come and they come alone and they go alone, and then I get to ask them, "Hey, I thought you said you'll bring your friend." I didn't even get to see them. They said, "Oh yeah, Prabhu, we came, we saw, and it was running late, so we left." I was like, okay, man, you missed the point. We missed the point, innit? It's like you should come. At least you should talk to someone then, so you get some inspiration. One-to-one makes a difference. Okay, good. We'll see you all next time. Until then, sleep nicely, because I'm sure you're in the bed already. Don't get scared. We will switch off the screen now. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Good night.